I found it very interesting because we call this Megillat Esther. We explained in the past why it's called Megillat Esther because the book is hidden. We have to find Hashem within the story. So it reminds us, Esther is the theme. Esther means hidden. But I found another explanation why it's called Esther. Because Hashem wants to show us that He could take Haman, get him to rise to power, and He could destroy him with his weakest piece. With his weakest piece. Who's his weakest piece? Esther. Who's Esther? She's a little. She was just a young. According to somebody, she was younger, but she was just a woman who she doesn't have parents to defend her. She was a yitoma. What does she have to her own name to defend the Jewish people? And Hashem wants to show us that I'm going to take my weakest piece, the weakest link, and I'm going to use it against Haman. If anyone's going to stand up against Haman, it's going to be Esther. If you guys say Mordechai, of course he defeated Haman. Look how great Mordechai is. Or if you take Daniel, of course he defeated Haman. Any other big tzaddik that was in the story, you're going to say, oh, of course Haman died. Because you can't match up to them. But Hashem says, I'm not going to tell Mordechai to defeat Haman. I'm not going to get anyone else to defeat Haman. Only Esther. Let Esther, who seems to be like a shy girl who's so quiet, she's going to be the one to defeat Haman. The way I imagine it is, imagine you go to a seminary girl, Beis Yaakov girl, say, here's a gun, go into that room, there's a terrorist sitting in there, and pull a bullet into that guy's head. Because that guy's a terrorist, he's going to kill millions of Jews. So before he has a chance to do that, I want you to take this gun, and I want you to shoot him. I can only imagine her reaction. Like, no, you don't understand. This is mamish murder. I can't. This is like it's Lashon Hara. Maybe I can't do this. I can't get involved. Please don't get me involved with this. No, you don't understand. Esther, stop. Esther, take the gun, shoot the guy in the head because he's going to kill a lot of Jews after this. We better stop him. Esther is a shy girl. She was like a Beis Yaakov girl. That's how I picture her. Like, what are you talking about? She's a very tzedua girl. The last thing I could imagine Esther doing is taking out a gun and shooting someone in the head. And that's exactly what you're asking her to do. You're asking her to go and kill Haman. Who's Haman? Haman is a terrorist. He's the biggest of all terrorists. He wants to kill the entire Jewish people in one day. He wants to bring a genocide to them. He's like Bilam. Who is he? And yet, Esther is chosen for the job. Because Hashem wants to show us, I'm going to take some Beis Yaakov girl. Some girl who doesn't have too much to her name. She's an orphan. And that's who's going to stand up against Haman. To show him that I don't need to try too hard to defeat Haman. I could take anybody. And I could get them to defeat Haman. This is why Esther was chosen for the job. And that's why I called Megillat Esther. To remember, Hashem chose Esther. To show that it doesn't matter how weak you are, if you have Hashem on your side, you could defeat the most scariest enemy. It doesn't matter who you're coming against. They could come to attack us, they could shoot at us, they could try to destroy us. We could be a weak nation. But at the end of the day, if we have Hashem on our side, it doesn't matter who's setting up against this big monster. Hashem will protect us and we're going to defeat them.